Okay, so here's a brief overview of the activity Firefighter Parabolas. So this activity is all about describing parabolas or quadratic graphs, and it's several investigations, several games, and if you learn enough you will be able to help Fireman Sam at the end aim the water and put out the fires that are raging. First part of the activity is to look at the properties of a very simple quadratic graph, and there's a Word document here to open up, and there's some questions to guide you through this. I would expect the students to make a GeoGebra file like this, although other graphing software could be used, and we're looking at how this value of B affects the shape of the graph, and C, and in particular we're looking at the symmetry of the graph. Once that is understood, back to the web page, and there are some questions to test this out. So in this activity here, what we've got to do is enter the correct equation in the box here, which will change the shape and position of this gold graph, and we're aiming to put the right equation in so that the gold graph lies on top of the dotted one. And there are several questions to try there. Once that's done, we'd hope that that would be understood, and the next thing is to looking at the completing the square form of a graph. We take hold of the graph here, and I'm just going to drag it around the screen, and I'm looking at what happens to the equation of the graph. Once we feel we understand that, there are some more questions to try, and again you've got to put in the correct equation in this input box here to control the position of the gold graph, and again make that lie on top of the dotted one. Once that is done, a bit of revision of some algebra. So I would expect students to have done some factorizing before this activity, and what we've got to do here is factorize some quadratic equations into two brackets and then plot the graph of them and see how the two are related. There's a series of questions to try here, and once those are done and those are understood, it's time to try the Fireman Sam games. So back to the web page, and here are the games. So what we've got to do is get Fireman Sam to position himself by the hose and then aim the water in the correct path so that it lands and puts out the fire, and we do that by entering the correct equation in the input box here. And the piece of advice is that entering the equations in the factorized form that you've just done is really going to help you to do that. If students get that done and have got time left, they could then try the more demanding activity, which is our Angry Birds activity. Good luck with those.